Hello, welcome back guys. Today I want to share a bit about how to play Nameless Uber in GvG. The role itself is actually quite simple in theory. You are there to carry your top tier DPS, keep them alive as long as possible, create space, and help secure kills for your Alinea. But in reality, execution is not that simple. Before we go further, just a small disclaimer. I'm not claiming to be a pro Nameless player. I'm just sharing my experience as a fellow player, hoping that some of these insights can help you guys improve your gameplay. For today's WoE, just to give you some context. My personal record, 51 kills, 384 assists, and 11 deaths. Not perfect, but for an Uber role, I think it's still decent. On the DPS side that I was carrying, Extion, definitely one of the top tier DPS players. His record, 175 kills, 531 assists, and around 2.6 billion damage. Pretty insane numbers. It's just a bit unfortunate that he didn't get top Alinea this time. Sorry bro, I'll try to do better next time. Now let's talk about the actual gameplay. The core strength of Nameless Uber is the permanent hiding mechanic. This is your biggest advantage, and you need to fully utilize it. You are not meant to go head-on into big enemy stacks all the time. Instead, your job is to find openings. Look for targets that are slightly out of position, not fully protected or separated from their team. Typical targets would be Jormund, Rathgricy Uber, Uber, or any player that plays a bit too aggressive going Rambo style. Those are your opportunities. Another very important thing is positioning. You must always be aware of Earth Field, because your DMG isn't from yourself, but from your Alinea. And your Alinea DPS got shut down above the Earth Field. If you go into an area covered by Earth Field, you lose your advantage instantly. So your job is to constantly move, scan the battlefield, and find safe zones where you can operate. It's not about forcing fights, it's about choosing the right fight. Now, one of the most important aspects that many players underestimate is exit strategy. Before you even engage, you already need to know how to get out. Never go in without a plan. The standard setup is to summon your totem in the backline area, somewhere safe, preferably in a path that enemies rarely pass through. Make sure it's not easily targetable. This totem is your lifeline. Also keep in mind, the totem has a limited lifetime. Sometimes you need to manually trigger it if you're stuck, or if the situation suddenly turns bad. Don't be greedy. If the fight is no longer in your favor, just disengage, reset, and look for the next opportunity. Playing Nameless Uber is not about flashy plays. It's about patience, awareness, and decision-making. Knowing when to go in, knowing when to stay hidden, and most importantly, knowing when to get out. That's what will make the difference between a good Uber and a dead one. Now let's continue with the core skills that you need to master as a Nameless Uber. We talk about Destiny Death. This is one of your main tools to secure fast kills for your Alinea. Think of it as your setup skill. You don't just throw it randomly. You need to use it with purpose. Your priority target should always be the high-impact enemy, the ones that stand out from the rest. For example, Rathgricy Uber that is carrying their DPS, or that annoying Jormund that keeps spitting damage from the backline. These are the targets that bring the most threat to your guild. So don't waste your ember on random targets. Save it, wait for the right moment, and use Destiny Death to create an opening for your DPS to finish them. Next, always make full use of Assassination Formation. This skill is extremely important. It gives you immunity to magic and ranged damage, which is huge in current meta. You should use it as often as possible. Use it to engage, use it to disengage, use it when you feel danger is coming. Don't hold it too long. At the same time, this skill also helps you pro lesser shadow. And remember, the more shadow stacks you have, the higher your final damage reduction, which means the tankier you become. So it's not just a defensive skill, it's part of your survivability system. Then we have Shadow Pierces. Honestly, this skill is a bit unfortunate because it's currently very bugged. Sometimes due to connection or server response, it creates a rubber banding effect, making your movement inconsistent. But despite that, this is still your main mobility skill, your main way to go in and out quickly. It's basically your blink. If this skill worked perfectly, Nameless gameplay would feel much smoother and much more responsive. But for now, we just have to adapt and deal with it. So when you combine everything together, your skills, your awareness, your positioning, and your mentality, plus having the right partner DPS, you can perform very well as an Uber. It's not about doing everything alone. It's about synergy. For the last part, about equipment. I've already covered most of it in my previous video, so I won't go too deep here. I'll just show my current setup, so you can use it as a reference and adjust based on what you have. Because at the end of the day, every player has different resources, so just tweak it based on your own situation. I think that's all for this video. Hopefully, this gives you a better idea on how to play Nameless Uber in GvG. Feel free to adjust, experiment, and find your own style. Good luck on the battlefield, stay safe, and all the best.